I am Roswell Royce Slory, and welcome to Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata. Those people that are clapping, I wonder if by now they know that I'm using their beautiful clap stuff to broadcast my stuff. They don't even know who I am. Anyway, welcome to the summer edition of Cool Folks Love the Bachata, live with members of Cool Folks from all over the world. They are going live with me to speak to you guys about their events, their career paths, a little bit about them, and their views on advice for kids and like dance industries and stuff. So, I mean, I'm happy to be doing this. At first I was a little hesitant, to do that because Facebook was like, Roswell, I don't think it's going to work. You're breaking the tradition. I mean, just continue just having them share their posting and you put like and love and let it be. I'm like, this is my Facebook and I'm a cool man who loves the bachata and I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take a chance with them and see what happens. Well, we've been doing this since the beginning of the year and it's a success. It's such a success that I've decided to continue this uh, as a full-time thing beginning in the fall of 2023. So beginning in the fall, this is going to be a weekly program. I'm going to invite members from Cool Folks to go live with me and outside members to also join us. So this is going to be a big thing. So guys, get ready for the fall of 2023. This week, interviews continue with Ellen Gates tomorrow, Ricky Jenkins on Thursday, my good friend Calvin in Miami on Friday, and the list goes on and on and on for the rest of July. Tonight, I am very proud that one of my good friends is going to be live with us. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's amazing and a very good-hearted person. I mean, I felt her energy, when we were dancing, and even before that. I mean, she just, there are people on this planet you just feel you could feel their goodness in them, and she's one of them. So I'm happy that Brandy Banner is going to join us. She's in Florida. Brandy is going to talk to us about mindset and nutrition and movement. She's also going to talk to us a little bit about the Costa Rica Dance Vacation that's coming up in October, and also the Fusion Festival, and other stuff that Brandy and I were going to discuss. I look forward to that. But before I bring Brandy on, there's a couple quick announcements. Uh, August, we'll be on vacation. I'm taking like the month off so I can, do some dance stuff, before I head back down south. So, I'll be at the GCBX event and in August. Our friend Lee has offered discounted tickets to members of Cool Folks Who Love the Bachata that are coming to the event. So if you guys have not purchased your tickets yet, uh, please mention you're a member of Cool Folks Who Love the Bachata or use the discount code that he gave us. If you guys don't have that, I'll be more than happy to share that with you. But so Lee, thank you for doing what you've done. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. My friends are in New York. Central Movement are having their weekender event, first weekend in August. That's going to be a big one here in New York City. If you guys are in New York, come on out to that, please. Or if you're in New Jersey, my good friend Jonathan Amaya is having his event. Wendy and Rodrigo are having their event also that same weekend, but in Charlotte. So if you guys are down south, come on out to that event. I'm going to be in Arkansas for the first time in my life. My good friend Melody and Miguel, they're going to have their Rasa event. So I look forward to that in August. And obviously, what would the summer be without the Denver Bachata Festival that it's happening in August? There's so much going on in August, So, guys, so I'm sorry I can't do interviews in August because I'll be going to all of these events. So, but tonight I'm here and Brandy's here, and she's looking forward to speaking with me. So let me just wrap it up, okay? So, Brandy, I'm I'm forcing myself.
Hi
I'm
there.
forcing myself to stop talking because when I start to talk, it's for an hour, and then social media is like, Russell, you go over an hour again. I can't help it, you know.
It happens. And I told you I can do the same thing. So I did take notes, and so I can kind of, stay on track. So if you see me looking down at my notes, I want to help
Definitely,
achieve that. Yeah.
that's what I need. Someone who can just, like keep me on track and stuff, So someone was telling me at first, why don't you get like a intern and an assistant? I'm
Mhm.
like, no, I can't. They're like, why? I'm gonna drive them crazy. So I know myself. I mean, if anyone sees me on a dance floor driving the woman crazy while I dance with her, like I did with you, imagine if I have someone, to help me out with this, I'll be like,
Mhm.
what time zone did you say again?
No, I'm sure you would find. I'm sure you would find the one that aligns with you. And I did enjoy our dance so much when we met. It was a couple months ago in Orlando.
Yeah.
Um, and I think what I really enjoyed about your dance was that you were connected and you were mindful. So speaking of mindfulness, I
Mhm.
felt your presence as a mindful dancer, considerate lead. It was very clear and and gentle. So I appreciated that about our dance. It was magical.
Okay, let me write that
So
down.
you
Hold on.
are a dancer.
So I was clear. I got to write this down because this woman yesterday, she was like complaining. Okay. So in your words,
Well,
Roswell Laurie was. I'm going to send this to her. Okay.
that was my
I'm going
experience. That was my
to.
experience.
I got proof.
There you go.
I got proof. So when I see her again, anyway, and thank you for saying that. Mindset is we were talking about this before we went live. I used to work at an insurance company, and we
Mhm.
had to take these relax mind course mindset stuff, for like 13 minutes or whatever. And I remember when I had my first mindset session. the counselor said, Roswell, what is the problem? Or what is your problem? Or what do you think the problem is? I'm like, I don't know. My manager just wanted me to do this. So that's a problem to begin with. She's like, even though it's required, Roswell, I mean, come on. I mean, is there something that, like, seriously, I mean, are you like, do you not sleep well at night? Can you not focus or what? I'm like, yeah, all of that stuff, which I don't. I mean, I don't sleep very well,
Mm,
because my mind is always thinking, thinking about stuff, and I'm not really focused because like I mean, I do legal work,
mhm,
anyone that does legal work, your mind is, it cannot be relaxed, it just because you're here, you're there, and you know that,
mhm.
Brandy, because you did intake and stuff, and you're
Yep.
you're in a legal field like me, so so it's hard to relax when you're in a legal atmosphere, and plus
Mhm,
after work, I have to come back, take care of my mom, and then she's
mhm.
complaining, and so I told the counselor all my problems, and she's like, Roswell, I only asked you for one problem. You're giving me like, oh, well, I said you what you ask, be careful what you ask for, So she said the secret is just that, just find peace with yourself and,
Mhm.
try to, inhale and all of that stuff. So, but I'm sure there's more to that, Brandy, like this, like what, I mean, if you were her, I
I
mean, what
mean,
would you,
you, yeah, you just mentioned breathing. That's a great start.
okay.
Like just taking a deep breath,
Mm-hmm.
holding it in, being present with that breath, being present
Okay.
in that moment. It can
Okay.
help in so many situations. And it's free. It takes 2 minutes and it really works. My mom was even telling me, she was reading studies that when we breathe in through our nose, we
Mm-hmm.
actually oxygenate all the cells in our body, even more so than when we breathe in our mouth. So like, I'm still learning stuff. My mom moved in with us. I'm between a teenager and a mom, and I'm learning stuff every day from the people around me, the situations that I have gone through in life. But breath is a really good place to start, and being present in the moment. That's what mindfulness is about, right? Being present in the moment.
Yeah, I need to work in that. Everyone keeps telling me, like when I was doing my master's degree, my instructor, he said, Roswell, just try to be here. You're in class.
Mhm.
I know you're in class, Roswell, but you're not mentally. You're not. You're thinking about this. But my dad has Alzheimer's, and
Mhm.
plus back then I was going through a breakup, and so he can see that I'm a good guy, but my mind is not there, and most people see that, Brandy. Most people that knows me well and stuff, they, like on the dance floor. I'm surprised you said all that good stuff about me because, like, most of the times I would just like maybe step on someone's foot or just like do my own thing. So I'm happy for some odd reason. Maybe I was focused at the time when I was dancing with you. I mean, so normally that doesn't happen, So I just need to, really work on that more because everyone, I'm not the only one that has to deal with 500 things, but
Yes, that's
it's
true.
good to it's good to focus on stuff, and the breathing stuff. I mean, she didn't tell me that. She I mean, the part with the nose instead of the
Mhm.
mouth, and you know she she didn't say that, so I gotta write her up. So thanks for
We're all in a constant state of learning. That's how I feel anyway. I feel like I'm a
uh,
lifelong learner. I'm learning just as much as I teach or share. And I find that word swaps have been really good for me. Something I've learned. I um, did a reel recently about shoulding on oneself. So many times we're like, I should, I should, I should, I should. And our language affects how we feel. And we live inside our head. We live with ourselves the most, right? So the language that we have before we even speak it, the language that we think is affecting us. It's affecting how we feel. So for example, shoulding all over our day is not, it's not beneficial. We're coming at ourselves immediately from a place of criticism. It's not our greatest motivator. So I invite myself and other people to, instead of saying I should, say I want to, or even I want to because that helps us then focus on why we want to do what we know we should do. But instead of guilt tripping ourselves into saying I should do this, we have to pause and reflect. Why do I even want to do it in the first place? So we may end up doing the same thing we were going to tell ourselves we should have done, but we're going to come at it from a much better place, and we're going to enjoy enjoy whatever it is a lot more.
Yeah, it makes me think that, a lot of people keep telling me, like, have a reason for which, like Roswell, just, just don't go dancing for the heck of it. Just have a reason, or have like a, not expectations. That's something that confused me, because like a lot, sometimes I think that, this is how it's going to be, or
Mhm.
I'm going to meet this person and it's going to be at this time. Like, I'm one of those people had like, this is how it's going to be at this time, and how it's going to, how am I going to talk, how am I going to stand, who am I going to meet, is like, so everyone's telling me that could be a problem, because there's a difference between, you know um, having a plan and
Mhm.
having an expectation.
Mhm.
So I think that is something that I just mix it up. And now that you mentioned it, now I'm thinking about it. The plan, when, have a plan, have an idea of, what to do, or before you do it or stuff. I think I
Mhm.
need to work. Brandy, I think I need to work on something like that, and just, you know, pull back on the expectation stuff. Now I'm thinking about it. This is weird. It took me this long to think about it. Go live with you, and people are looking at this. So, but yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, I think I need to work on that.
Mhm.
But tell us more about the mindsets of, like, how did you? I mean, not many people I know, got into this, or it's not, like, but
Mhm.
how did something? I mean, is this something that you um planned, or this, like,
Mhm.
what are you trying to accomplish by sharing your knowledge, or your
Mhm.
experience, or your talk on the mindset stuff? I mean, like, what, I mean, what I'm trying to accomplish here is,
Mhm.
oh no, that's like, what am I trying to accomplish? Anyway, we'll talk about my problems later. But what are you trying to accomplish here? Or what would you like to accomplish here with
Yeah,
this mindset?
what I'm hoping to accomplish, what I'm accomplishing, and my why is because I'm a person who has shattered and broken in pieces and been put back together, and I've been able to come out of the things I've experienced a better person because I sought out people to help me physically, mentally, spiritually, and for me, you'll see on my social media, nutrition, mindset, supplementation, movement. I think
Mhm.
all of those things really influence each other. I spent 10 years very ill, in my late 20s, early 30s, into my early 40s. I spent about 10 years very, very ill. At one point, and to me, it was the culmination of a lot of things. It was the dysbiosis of my gut health, it was stress, it was trauma, and my body got to a point where it was screaming at me, and there was um, something going on with my thyroid. That's where it presented itself. I remember one day I bent down to grab a pot or something out of the cabinet. I couldn't stand up. I had to roll over and climb on something in order to stand up. My thighs would not lift me up, and I went through a really rough time doing that, trying to figure out what it was. I got a diagnosis, and I addressed the issue with a few different physicians, and I felt some improvement. But my body was in such a state, my mind was in such a state. I had gotten into really some negative thinking patterns and negative thought habits, right?
Mhm.
So I decided that that could not be my new normal. That could not be my normal anymore.
Mhm.
Uh, the daily routine for me was wake up, and before I would even open my eyes, an anxiety attack would wash over me before I even get up in the morning. So take my kid to school, go to work, at my lunch break, take a nap in my car because I was exhausted. I cried every day. Um, I was not myself, and would go home, take a nap, wake up, make dinner, spend more time with my kid, time to go to bed. And I did a lot of things. I forged through it. I'm a people person. I love volunteering. I love my people. I love my community. So I forced myself to do the things I wanted to do, but I was doing it in a state of distress. My body was in distress. My heart was in distress, um, figuratively speaking. Um, and I just decided this cannot be my new normal. there has to be something that I need to continue to search for. So in my case, I was researching a lot about um, immune things.
Mhm.
Arthritis runs in my family. All the women, my mom, grandma, great grandma, all bent up like that. I was starting to feel those aches and pains, and my personal research led me to gut health. So then I started to see the relationships between gut health and blood sugar balance, gut health and mental health, a direct correlation between that. And what I discovered, wow, I was amazed. I read this book called The Missing Microbes by Martin Glazier. And it's a really easy read. It's not super sciencey, but he worked for the CDC and did research in the 80s on gut health. So it explained how they came to this conclusion that in our gut, there's this whole it's a whole ecosystem. It's like the rainforest or like um, a coral reef as far as diversity of living things, and then our whole body, in fact, from head to toe. They calculated that 70 to 80 something percent of our cells are not human cells. They are microbes, these other living organisms, and they broke it down to DNA. The DNA that we're walking around with is 99% microbial, 1% DNA that makes up who we are. So it made sense to me then, well, if I got all this stress and I'm not getting the nutrients that I need, no wonder my intestine is not working, my digestion's not working, all these other systems are like screaming at me, telling me get it together, right? So enter something my sister shared with me, some supplements that helped her, helped my mom, and they made a difference. So I swapped those out, started making some changes in what I ate, but at the same time, I was also it all started with my mind, right? I decided this is not going to be my normal. There is something out there that I need to find. So along with that, I started journaling with friends, talking to friends, seeking help. A few times in there, I sought out counselors and got therapy, and it was amazing. And the transformation that has helped me to acquire through nutrition, mindset, movement, it's it's helped me feel like myself again, and that's something I want people to know out there. That there's so much you can do. The power of our mind is limitless.
Yeah, forgive me. I'm so wrapped up in everything that you're saying. Like, I mean, my background, my background is psychology. I did my undergraduate in psychology, master's in sociology, and doing the doctoral in human services. So when people talk to me, I constantly analyze, like, whatever they say goes into different components of my brain.
Sure.
So, um, but I wanted to touch on a couple stuff you said. You said a lot, but I appreciate. Thank you so much. Something, Brandy. One of the reasons I majored in sorry, psychology is because not only it was an easy way out, or no, but um, mind over body. Mind
Mm-hmm.
is so powerful. You ever heard a story? When I was in high school, someone was telling me about a lady and her baby, and she put the baby down at a outside of a gas station, and she had to fix her tire or something, and before you know it, the car dropped, and the baby was sort of like under the car or something like that, and the woman is like skinny and small and whatever, and before you know it, she whoop,
Wow.
lifted this car like Superwoman all the way up, and she grabbed her baby away from the car and she put the car back. Now that's kind of like I know it's a true story. I have to look it up in my history of stuff,
Sure.
but
Sure.
it happened. So in my head, I said to myself, something. I mean, obviously, my baby's gonna die. I gotta. So
Mm-hmm.
something went triggered off in her head, and all the power that she had, all the energy, she just,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
It's
So it makes me think that the mind. I never forgot that example. As long
mm-hmm.
as I live. And that's another reason I wanted to major in psychology because I always believe that's a good example. The
Mm-hmm.
mind is powerful. You could have cancer. You can have like a bad day. At work. You meet somebody in the dance floor, they say, I don't want to dance with you, or whatever. But when your mind is powerful, it can accomplish so much.
Mm-hmm.
It can, it can accomplish, like how you feel, or like how strong you are, your physique, like the mind is very powerful. So to make a long story short, what I'm trying to say is that one of the reasons I majored in psychology is because of that. Because I always, I'm one of those people. I don't, you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't take. And my friend in Germany can vouch for this because he said, we used to talk about this. If I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Just I just need an hour to myself. If I have a headache,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just drink water. Maybe I'm dehydrated. I'll sleep it off. If I'm, if somebody doesn't dance with me, they say no. Okay, fine. I'll just move on. Like because I put like all the stuff in my head above everything else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Arthritis, like you mentioned. Dancers. We get arthritis. That's one thing we're known for getting because we dance a lot and stuff. But when your mind is telling you that, hey, don't let the arthritis like take over you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Make you not have it. I guess my point of my story is that the mind is so powerful, and it goes back to you can do whatever you want to do. You can be the president of the United States. You could be a lawyer. You could be a cool man who loves a bachata. When the mind is so powerful, when the mind is not powerful, that's when problems happen.
Mm-hmm.
People get depressed. People become anger. They do
Mm-hmm.
violence. They turn
Complacent.
good. That's the reason I wanted to bring you on, and one of the main reasons to bring you on because this topic of mind over body,
Mm-hmm.
it's more said than done. I mean, it's one thing to hear about it, but to talk about it, it's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful because this is something I think, well, not I don't think, but I know can really help the dance community because the dance community, from what I know, it's I was just talking to Allison like a few minutes ago, and how she managed to stay organized and stuff. And I mean, her mind was like targeted to it's got to be done, and there's no ifs, there's no but, and not everyone has a strong mindset like that, so this mind over body stuff is very important, and it can go beyond the dance world. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it can go to
Absolutely.
all other areas of life,
Mm-hmm.
cancer and sickness, person not committing crime,
Mm-hmm.
person pursuing, staying in a healthy relationship,
Mm-hmm.
following through with their job. Just because I have a bad day, it doesn't mean I'm not going to go out and go to work. So I just want everyone to know how powerful, the mind
Mm-hmm. It's true. Very
is,
true.
right? Nutrition and movement, is something that's also about
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah.
So nutrition and movement, is that would you say if you had to write a PhD novel, you have to write the theses of like how mindset will work, and you got to fit in like nutrition and movement. Would you say that's a category by itself, or did it just part of mindset, or is it they all work like all three of them? Nutrition and the movement stuff, you know, comes out of the mindset stuff. I know it's a weird question I'm
Right.
asking.
In my mind, they all are related
Okay,
because everything starts in our mind, our decisions and our choices.
okay,
I think that nutrition, we choose why nutrition should matter. You
okay,
know, we come to a point in our life where we wonder about, okay, if I put this in my mouth, what's the natural process that's going to happen? If I put this in my mouth, what's the natural process that's going to happen? When we're mindful or thinking about it, we ask ourselves, what's my relationship with food? Like, what's the emotional part? What's the mental part of my relationship with food? So we explore that. And nutrition is important. What we put in our body matters. We all know that eating like tons of sugar and processed foods and all these things, we all know that that's not benefiting us, that it's contributing to unwellness. And with the right mindset, we could start a whole epidemic of wellness just based on nutrition, right? So our mindset affects how we view nutrition and what we choose to learn about it and leverage what we know about how our bodies work to our advantage. our mindset about our value.
Mhm.
Am I worth even taking care of, right? Sometimes we get down on ourselves. I know I have had feelings of unworthiness at times where I'll take care of people and go to the ends of the earth to take care of people, but I might not at some moment take care of myself the same way when I should. I should, right? Give myself there. Oh, I just shoulded myself. Oops. I want to take care of myself because I can value myself just as much as I value the next person. Movement. Oh yeah, mindset affects movement too because why do we move? Are we moving and are we going to the gym just to look a certain way, which is not wrong in itself, or we're going to the gym to feel a different way? Do we want to be healthy to fit an image, or do we want to
Mhm.
move because we love our body and we say thank you arms, like you can move it, thank you legs, you're holding my whole body up, thank you feet and toes, you're holding my entire body up, thank you neck, thanks to you I can look all around, so why we do what we do makes
Mhm.
a huge difference. So nutrition, mindset, movement, to me that's all the same thing. And on my social media I've chosen to use discover eudaimonia, which is a Greek word, different philosophies on it, but to me it boils down to being well on purpose, having an intention, not just accidentally thinking I'm going to be fine, I'm going to be well. It's seeking out a life of meaning, a life of wellness, and a life of being healthy on purpose, not just on accident, because it probably won't happen on accident. It has to happen on purpose.
I agree. I agree. I'm sorry. Forgive me. While you're talking, I can't help myself but looking at the background. I like that. Is that the curtain there? I like how it was designed. I'm sorry. I just as you can tell,
A friend
I'm
gave me
not, I'm not
that, isn't
focused. You can
it?
see
Isn't
it.
it fabulous? I love it.
I like it. I like it.
A
Where
friend
did you
gave it to
get
me.
that from? I like
She
the.
knew my personality. She's like, I have a
It's
curtain I don't want anymore. It's yours. I was like, yes, please, thank you.
it's
And it's nice and
beautiful. I
thick,
like
so it protects from that Florida sun.
that.
It's so cool in here.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I used to work at I used to work at Macy's. Hope I can say the name of the book loves me. So I used to work at Macy's, and I used to sell shoes for 8 years. I couldn't really
Mm-hmm.
find a job with my master's degree. So working in retail for 8 years, I'm very self-observant of
Mm.
materials and how people dress and the stuff that they have, and all of that stuff. So background, I wanted to open up the interview by saying, "Oh, that's a nice background," but people will be like, "Roswell, stay focused." There you go, Roswell, stay
What's the
focused.
thrift count
You
on
know,
for?
you know. But I can't help. I just had to say it. It's very beautiful. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay,
Thank you,
let me get
thank you,
back to
thank you very
the
much.
interview here. Okay, mindset. Okay, talked about mindset, nutrition, movement. Okay, now the dance stuff. I want to talk to you about. Okay,
Mm.
I heard. This is what I heard. I heard Costa Rica is a wonderful place. Nice people, delicious food, and it's
Mm-hmm.
warm. And I know October is a wonderful time to go because
Mm-hmm.
a little birdie told me there's a Costa Rica dance vacation that's going on in October. Please
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So the theme is dance. There's going to be a lot of dance. Dance, nature, life. By life, we mean mindset and more nature. And yes, Costa Rica is beautiful. It has like, I believe, 5% of the landmass. No, 0.03% of the world's landmass, but 5% of the world's biodiversity.
Wow.
So the animals we saw. Let me go back here. I'll tell you how I got into this. Okay. So someone I know who is a dancer hosts these retreats, and they've been doing this for 10 years. They've been dancing 20 years, have danced in like 80 countries, 6 continents, and has won several awards at different places. They host these destination retreats around the world. So I took a class from them when I was living in Wisconsin, and their their theory, their philosophy resonated with me a lot. And when I heard they were doing these retreats, dance, nature, life. mindset, movement, all these things. I was like, yes, I'm in, sign me up. Well, what happens? COVID hits, right? There's this lockdown. So through that time, I attended virtual ones. And then as soon as things opened up, I went to three, two in Costa Rica and one most recently in Morocco. So I liked it and loved it so much that I am now collaborating. So our collaborator and myself, we are co-hosting this retreat. We're going to be in a mansion, two mansions side by side, so walks distance from the beach. We have a private chef cooking 2 meals a day for us, shuttle to and from the airport. We're going to go see national parks, rivers, the ocean, of course, different beaches, and dance socials every day, dance classes, bachata, merengue, salsa, zouk, all the things with a theme of connection dance. So learning all those different styles in those beautiful places, and mindset workshops, exploring our senses, and indulging in all that beauty and movement and mindset and dance.
Yeah, I was wondering where the mindset like comes in into play with this. I was about to say, yeah, there got to be, some mindset that's involved, and it makes sense. But
Mhm.
so whose plan was it to have this done? Like who's like like uh like how did you guys come about with this idea? Like how like why not? I don't know. Why not Brazil or why not New York?
Mm,
What why like Costa Rica? Of all the
sure.
places,
Okay.
why not Dominican Republic? Like how did the
That's a great
idea?
question. That's a great question. So I'm collaborating with Juan Calderon, and he's been doing this for 10 years in several countries. And during the lockdown, he was living in Costa Rica. So he developed a place there, and that's where I went to my first two retreats and liked it so much. I was like, yep, I'm in with this. So now collaborating with it. So that was the purpose for that location. I loved it so much.
Mhm,
For me, it was a time when I had, prior to that, I was taking care of a friend, an older friend who lived upstairs from us. We rented
mhm,
from her.
mhm,
Um, and she died in her home. So hospice had people taking care of her. If it not had not been for the lockdown, there would have been a gazillion people there taking care of her. But I was working at home, so I helped her with her last few months of life. My grandfather had died not long before that. So
mhm,
we're in the middle of a lockdown, right? So there was a lot of loss, a lot of stressful things happening for me in my life. And when I got to that retreat, I didn't realize how much I needed it. It is such a beautiful place to just refresh and renew and restore, connect with nature, dance, and work on our mindset. It's a beautiful, unparalleled experience. And I'm super excited to be able to create that experience for our guests there. So we tailor to our guests' needs, their abilities, their limitations. Sometimes people will see, videos or pictures like, wow, they're going, I can't keep up with them.
mhm,
We tailor to people's needs. Yeah. And as with diet as well, our chef considers each person's, special needs. If they have an allergy or something that they can't eat, we work around that. So it is a concierge experience. And we're both really good at photography. We're both bilinguals. We're also your interpreter, your photographer. And it is really for people at all levels of dance. I was thinking, why would cool folks who love bachata want to go on this retreat? I think that it's an enriching experience no matter what level a dancer's at. And they're going to discover things about dance. They're going to help them have better dances more often. Even if they're a professional dancer, they're going to rediscover and reignite something in their soul and their experience there. It's a great value in it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy you said that because I was speaking with Cassandra de Mercedes. Cassandra's part of Kufo Tote Bachata. We went live at the beginning of the summer, and she's having this great event. Her and her colleagues also in October in DR.
Uh-huh.
I've never been to DR before, and she's like, "What?" For 3 years now, social media has been on my back. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Roswell, let's get this straight. You got a Facebook called Cool Folks Who Love the Bachata. Okay, and you've never been to DR. Okay, what's your problem? Like number one, I don't really speak Spanish. I'm not bilingual. Like it's hard for me to pick up like a second language. I mean, I took
Mhm.
Spanish 101 in college and high school, 8 years, and I need know
Mhm.
hola and adios. That's the first problem. That was my response to social media. The second thing is that I don't really know anyone in DR and stuff.
Oh,
What if I just go walking around somewhere, looking like this, and people come up to me
you'd
and
be fine.
you
May
know,
I offer you some tips for for Dominican Republic? I lived there 10 years. I moved there as a as a
yes.
teenager and lived there 10 years. So I would say I'm Dominican by crianza. Um,
Wow. Okay.
you can say this: "Como tú ta
Como tu
ta."
ta.
That's how you are in Dominican Spanish. "Como tú ta."
Como tu ta.
Yeah, if you come out with that, people will not even think that just speak Spanish to you to think you're Dominican, and is a very hospitable people. So go, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love it.
I'm happy you said that because Cassandra's like Russell. You gotta come with us, and she's also giving people discounts for coming.
Mhm.
And cool folks love to push out. Remember, so I told her, I don't know. I'm afraid. I'm timid. I'm like, can you and your man? She's of course she's in a relationship. I'm like, hey, can you and your man like be with me like every minute of the day? And they should, Russell, come on, man, get a grip of yourself. But yeah, that's the thing that I'm worried about. Even outside of DR, it could be like anywhere else. When
And yeah,
it's one thing. It's one thing to travel like locally. When you know somebody,
sure,
someplace and stuff. But go out of the country, and I mean, I don't. So I think that's my problem. My problem is just that I'm not brave enough to like do something like what you guys are doing and stuff. And I don't know.
well, may I
So
offer you something to think about on that?
yeah.
People are people wherever you go.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
people are
okay.
just people. They're the same. We all have two eyes, a nose, mouth, ears. We may speak different languages and eat different foods, but at the end of the day, we
Mhm.
all want the same things. And
Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm forgetting the basics. I think no. I think the problem with me is that safety zone. My safe. When you at home where you're too like used
mhm,
to something and you don't want to change your pattern or stuff and
in your comfort
I think that's
zone.
my problem. That's my too at home. So I'm gonna have to hang out with you and your mom when you get to all this traveling overseas. I'm like, you guys are gonna be my
Back down south here.
yeah. So but I got
Mhm.
to work in that seriously because it's good to expand your mind and you
Sure.
know learn about different cultures, learn
Mhm.
about different things, and so I used to go to Germany a lot. Germany was my comfort
Nice.
zone because my best
Okay.
friends were Germans from college. So I used to hop on a plane on a Thursday, come back on a Monday, and then travel and stuff. And plus, my family's from South America, so
Uh-huh.
I should be used to all that traveling. And I lived in travel abroad in London, but I don't know. I think over the
See, you
years,
traveled quite a bit.
but that was years ago. But now I think I know. I just don't do it anymore. And I forgot what it's like to
Sure.
travel outside of the U.S. That's the problem I'm having when I'm too at home, too comfort, to be like, you know,
Yeah.
so I need to like break that,
When
and
you're ready, you'll travel.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, another event coming up, the Fusion Festival.
Oh,
So
sorry. One thing I did want to, a couple more things I wanted to mention about Costa Rica. We do
sure.
have different pricing options for people who want to share rooms. We have two queen beds in each room with its own bathroom and shower. So it's a really fancy mansion. This is like, I love this place. So there's different pricing options for people, and I have a couple of ways, that we have a couple sales. So I will be sure to share that, in our group.
Yeah, of course. Please do. Yeah, that's great. The queen beds.
But
It's
we only have two spots left for two women and four spots left for men. So I know we're gonna sell out soon. So ojos, everybody, yeah, take a peek.
yeah. So everyone take advantage of that, please. That sounds like a good deal. I mean, Costa Rica. I mean, my one of my best friends is from Costa Rica. I was like, Russell, when are you gonna come see my
In
family?
October.
Now a lot of pressure here. A lot of
No
pressure here.
pressure, no pressure. If it's free, you are invited. You
Pressure
are
here.
invited.
But let's see. You know what? My excuse is my mom. I use her
I,
as an example. I'm like, I take care of my mom, and that's everyone's like, okay,
Mhm.
no, but
Baby
I
steps.
appreciate you saying that. Okay, the Fusion Festival is coming up.
Oh,
Tell us a little bit about that,
dance
please.
blender. Yes, dance blender. So putting all these teachers from different genres in a space where there's going to be all these workshops. It is November 23rd through 27th in Horn, Austria, which is just near Vienna.
Mhm.
So they're not going to teach any patterns. They're not going to teach any choreo. They're going to teach movement and techniques and connection. And they come from all these different backgrounds: bachata, zouk, improv, tango, salsa, the ballroom, mindful movement, belly dancing. So, man, if someone is a beginner dancer, imagine the power of having some feel for all that different type of movement and then going into whatever type of movement. So we illustrate it this way with that one. Dance is a language, right? But then how many dialects within that language are there? So if people become versed in these techniques, even if they're experienced dancer and they're becoming more versed in these other dialects, then wow, just like imagine the power of the rediscovery of dance there. And reinventing oneself or having more magical dances and then having a dance partner where you're like, hey, what magical thing can we create in this moment? And it be as unique as the two partners in that particular dance. So I'm really excited about that. There's accommodations at the hotel. There is promo code Let's Dance, all caps, LETSDANCE, 10% off full pass or weekend pass. And the prices are amazing. There's also a group for accommodations, whoever is attending, if they want to talk about, flying together or sharing a room, things like that. So the community is coordinating within that framework as well. But I'm really excited for that one too. It's right up my alley.
I'm happy you said that. I mean, that's very uh, generous of you and your colleagues to do that. And yes, please share this information again on our Cool Folks Love the Bachata webpage. I appreciate that. What I'm thinking, while you speak again, you speak on my mind. Stuff that you're telling me is going in like 500 components in my head. I want to talk about the children here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Collaboration you mentioned, which is good. Dancing and you know, dancing, salsa, bachata, belly dancing, all of that stuff. Oh, by the way, before I ask you the children's question, belly dancing, I need to work on that because there's a reason why everyone can only see up to here. I I don't want people to see what's going on with my belly, so I gotta belly dancing. I gotta definitely
It's a
stay.
good workout.
That's
Good.
that's a, that's another interview. That's gonna take like 8 hours. But anyway, um, we're getting back to dancing and with the children and stuff. Like if a child comes up to you, Brandy, whether they want to pursue belly dancing, salsa, merengue, whatever, and they're serious about it. And you just said at the beginning of the interview, you're very good at people, reading them, you can feel them and whatever. I'm sure if a child comes up to you and say, you know what, Brandy, I think I'm gonna, you know, be the next, like rising star, and I'm gonna do this and whatever. And you can just tell that they have what it takes to do it.
Mhm.
They just need support and guidance and whatever. So what wonderful advice would you give to the little one that's asking you, to please give him or her advice as they pursue dance as
Yeah.
a career?
I would say never lose your childlike curiosity.
Okay.
Sometimes as we grow up, we age, we get into a routine, we get into a pattern of what we think things should look like, and we stop dreaming in the realm of possibility. We just stick with what's familiar, what we've seen done before. When if you as a young person can maintain that sense of curiosity that you have, you're going to be an innovator. And instead of thinking, oh, I can't do that, or wanting to do something and coming up against a wall, you're going to continuously ask yourself, how can I? So keep asking yourself, how can I? And find a way to do it. When you see someone that you admire and you're like, I want to do that, Find out what it took them to get where they're at, because you can say, hey, I want to be that person. But you have to ask yourself also, am I willing to do the things I have to do to get to where they got or where I want to go? And find someone that you feel safe with, that you feel comfortable with, that you can lean into for guidance and support, a mentor, a teacher, and let them hold you accountable. Be ready to take responsibility and embrace failure, because failure is part of the process. And learn the difference between a really good failure and a bad failure. A bad failure is when I don't take responsibility, I don't learn a lesson, I make an excuse. A good fail is when, oh, I learned a lesson, I take responsibility, and I make an adjustment. And then I'm more empowered. So embrace failure, it's part of the process. Um, and believe that you're significant. Know that you are significant. You have unique gifts and talents. There is no other you on this planet. So no one else is more qualified to be you. So young person, be you. Be authentic. Go for it.
No, just can't hear. My mom doesn't hear what I just said. No, mom, I didn't say anything. Just go back to bed. Anyway, but anyway, but no, no, but seriously, I always like to ask that question because you know, uh, the young ones are really, going to be,
Mhm.
doing this one day. They might be here before, this camera or whatever going live with someone else. So I always think, that they are, they are very important, and a lot of people
Mhm.
take that for granted. And I mean, thank goodness, like you and I, for example, we had good upbringings and we had good role
Yeah.
models and support, and but not everyone did.
Mhm.
And so I always feel that is important for me, to use this time, to get you and your colleagues' opinion on, what advice can you give those little ones that are watching this. When I was young, I mean, I didn't really have someone, to go live and to ask, celebrity or something to give advice. So I just learned from trial and error. I just learned from television. And thank God my parents were very supportive. My family was, but, you know, so I just feel that it's important that I always bring this topic up, because whatever feedback they
Mhm.
receive, hopefully it can help them in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. One other thing I would also encourage young people to do as they progress through life is to think about not only the talent and the skill and whatever technical ability, and that may be, maybe they want to be a dancer, maybe they want to support the dancers, maybe they want to be a promoter, maybe they want to, do something else within that field, right? There's a whole lot to do within the dance world.
Mhm.
Um, but as you continue to grow, young person, think about the person that you are becoming during the process. Stay true to yourself. Define, and you don't have to feel like you're not gonna have it all figured out. Like,
Mhm.
just shake that pressure off of having to think that you're gonna have to figure it all out and know exactly what you want. It may change, and then you can pivot and shift and try something different. But keep keep tabs on who you're becoming in the process, because no matter what you end up doing with your life, who you are is what you're taking to whatever job you do. And you're super valuable, you're priceless. So invest in yourself, take good care of yourself, be healthy in your mind, your body, your spirit, and you're gonna be a blessing to people that you touch.
Anga, you would have loved Timur Kroos yesterday when
I
I
saw
interviewed
his
him.
interview, I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, he did. He's right on the spot, about
Yeah,
the investment in yourself and all that stuff. And
it resonated so much with me. I wanted to reach through the screen and hug him and give him high fives and all the things.
I know. I mean, I mean, you guys. This is one of the reasons I just didn't want to like bring you guys on. Like just to talk about dance, but talk about other stuff that applicable to the dance world and beyond. You know,
Mhm.
he talked about like health and fitness and all of that stuff and stay focused. you're on the same level, with regards to that um, conversation. So that's one of the things I'm trying to achieve going live with you guys this summer. To reach out beyond, how it can help people. And I'm all about helping people, Brandy. I'm all about making a difference in people's life, the world, how they speak, how they talk, how they appear, what they say, what they don't say. That's the main point of doing Cool Folks Love the Bachata. Not really for publicity, not really for ratings. Not, I mean, it is social media.
Mhm.
It's part of the business. But then again, not everything should be conditional. There are things on this earth that we should do that's
Yes,
unconditional and that could really benefit people, especially the young ones. Because
yes.
that's the main priority here. You know.
I love that. I love that. And I would summarize it by saying you're telling the young people love well,
Hmm.
right? I love that. And I think that the space is really great and what you're creating is very impactful. I'm so grateful for what you're doing here and carving and creating the space and the variety of people that are here and having
Hmm.
people speak. And I thank you for the this time and inviting me here to share my thoughts and experience. And so for what it's worth, I hope it helps somebody
Yeah.
out there.
I used to work at the my first job was at in television. I used to work at ABC. I used to work at the View. I used to View many years ago when it first opened. Barbara Walters gave me my first job in television. So you know, and I always think about like when she opened up. She used to say like like a diverse set of audience, even though it was like all women. The
Mm-hmm.
point is that they were all diverse. They come from different backgrounds, different experience, and you got the attorney, the journalist, and all. And I said when I was a kid, you know, I would like to do something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And but instead of getting like a group of guys, let's get a group of people. Let's
Wow.
get two folks together and talk about their journey and talk about the experience. And that was my vision, and I'm fulfilling that vision.
Here you are. Look at that.
Um, wow, we've been talking for an hour. And I appreciate everything you said today. And I'm sorry if we started out a little bit late. As you can tell, time management is not something I'm good at, but I got to work in that. And but but what are some last minute or final
Mhm.
words you would like to say before I say goodnight to you? And I know you got to work. I mean, come on, yeah. I don't know. I don't want you to be staying up with me chatting all night. You got stuff to do. But
Sure, sure. Oh,
what are some last minute
mhm.
stuff you would like to share with us before you
Yeah, I
leave?
mean, cool folks who love bachata, you are cool. And each and every one of us here, each and every one of you has a gift. So I wish everybody peace, love, joy, abundance. Keep doing you, keep being you, and positivity. Stay positive. Keep moving forward.
Oh God, I'm holding in my tears. That's the thing. That's what you live interview. I mean, like, I always get emotional with you guys. Like, remember Sharon? When Sharon was like, okay,
I
Russ,
didn't see that one yet, no.
I'm giving it a puppy look. I'm like, bro, just a
Oh,
little bit longer. I gotta stop this. This is
we
not
could talk for
professional.
hours. We could talk for hours.
Yeah, like there was Suave Beats. Like last month, we went, till like, what 1 a.m. It was like, he's like, Roswell, I got a kid, right? I got a family. I'm like, okay, Sam. So no, but I enjoy this stuff. That's the reason it's unique, and it's not rehearsed, it's not planned. It's just
Authentic.
being yourself and just honor meeting you, and that. It's an honor talking to you, and I look forward to dancing with you. I'm here in New York for the rest of the summer, and I plan to come back down south after summer, and hopefully I can dance with you again. Florida or maybe Georgia or wherever
Oh,
our paths cross.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, but thank you. Please share the stuff about Costa Rica and everything else. Please, and please share whatever else you feel comfortable sharing. Thank you for subscribing to YouTube. I know you subscribe to the
Oh yeah,
YouTube clip. I saw it says
I saw
Brandy.
your
So
message there. I was like, okay.
yeah, and I ask everyone to do that because normally what I get after interviews, media contacts me
Mhm.
and say, Roswell, where's the interview? I'm
Uh,
like, well, I posted 500 times and no one's like reading my email. So what do you want me to do, man? So like Roswell, remind them. I can't, So everyone that's listening, please, please,
subscribe.
please, yeah, subscribe. It's free.
Like
Free.
YouTube, right?
Kufos Love to Bachata. Subscribe so you can see past recordings, present recordings, and future recordings, and everything.
Oh, and
We
everybody, you want to see these past recordings. Like, I saw a few of them. I'm going to catch up on them on YouTube because they are
yeah.
amazing. Mhm.
Thank you so much. You're a big fan of
I'm
mine.
a big fan.
You're such
Woo!
a big fan of Kuko's Love to Bachata. You have your own television show or
Oh,
your own like show. Show you Cool Brandy. Yeah, that's it. I just Cool Brandy who
cool,
loves her
Brandy.
bachata and more. That's like a
Wow,
cool,
there's so many names we
cool
could come up
Brandy.
with. That'll be my next project, coming up with a name.
It was a wonderful talking to you, and we'll talk more soon. Okay, you have a good night, and thank you so much.
You too. Bye.